this is Miss Forte, and today I want to help you with Beauty and the Beast, because it's one of my favorite Disney songs, and it's a great one to work on breath control, really connecting your breath to the notes that you're singing, as well as working on how to hold notes long and stay open on the vowels and stuff like that. So we're going to do a couple different things with that, and hopefully help you with some little tricky spots that I know are tricky for a lot of people when singing this song. The first thing we want to talk about is the key that you sing it in. Make sure you find a version where you can hit all the notes. So recognize that the pop versions out there that everybody wants to sing, the Ariana Grande version and blah, blah, blah. Well, she's got a partner, right? John Legend is amazing. But they still change the key between the two of them. So it's not quite so easy to sing through as one person. You have to really kind of watch that. It's not all in one key. They're making some kind of odd changes and stuff. So it's a little easier if you follow like the Emma Thompson version. The Angela Lansbury version is great, the original, except for the fact that she's super low. So if you have a hard time hitting this really low, tale as old as time, where it's like way down here in the bottom of your barrel, then pick a version that's a little bit higher, or do what I did and make your own version because you can't find one in the key that you like. So I sing it in F to G, so that my first note, my bottom notes are an A. So I'm singing tale as old as time. So I'm singing about there instead of singing it in like super low range. That does mean that your high notes are higher, but most people you can do that. It's fine. We're gonna work on it. So the thing that I really want to work on is being able to connect this breath to your pitch and keep that phrasing super smooth, right? The beautiful thing about this song is that it's just lovely. Like, I just think of it as it's a very classic song without being operatic, but that's the tone that you really want to have for it. So this is a place where you really do need a lot of breath support. You really need to have a lot of breath underneath you to create that tone. You really want the big space in your mouth. You're not gonna sing it with a super poppy kind of sound that doesn't take as much air, where we're breathing way up here. That's just not gonna sound quite right, right? Like, I don't really wanna sing tale as old as time, true as it can be. Then I'm hitting the pitches, but that's not really how the song feels. So this is one of those places where I want to think, okay, how does the song feel? How should it be sung? What kind of breath support am I going to need? So I really want to think about getting that low breath and keeping it all the way through, really connecting that. So the first thing I want to do is take the words away, and we're just going to do this little part that would be the where everybody freaks out. Ever just the same, right? Where we have to, like, this is a really, I'm walking up and I have to really hold. It's one of the things I love about this song to work with, is that it's a great song to really work on being able to just hold that out. So I really want to think about that breath here, getting that in to this place, locking those things in, and then really just having a squeeze all the way through the phrase. So making sure that I'm putting that tension. This is a great place to go with that book, and kind of, I'm going to use my handy dandy. This is the actual book that it comes from that I'm using anyway. My Disney book. Gotta love it. And just kind of push that through, so that as I go through, and we'll start a little bit lower so that you get used to it, but we're just going to do a quick little it's literally just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walking right up. What I don't want is to try and hit each pitch. Where A, I'm really using my throat to do that. And I'm just really focusing. So I really want to think about using that with my breath, making that breath one thing instead of individual pitches. So sing all the way through the phrase. Think about squeezing all the way through the phrase. Ah, really let that go. Ah, ah, really squeeze here. Ah, feel the space inside your mouth, so especially as you get up into that higher. Now we're approaching where we should actually be at. To hit those pitches, think about the space and how much breath you're using. Ah, 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 ah. So I just went past it because that's what I like to do. Is go past the note that you want and then really be able to feel, okay, so that was easy. We could do that, really thinking about connecting that breath to that. And then I want to think about how do I say the words, right? Because if we could sing everything on ah, that'd be great. But we can't. We really want to actually say words. So I want to think about that space that I created in my mouth with the ah. I need to keep that for the words. So practice saying the words on that open space. Almost like if you had a yawn in your mouth and you were trying to yawn and talk to somebody. So you have this, ever just the same. Nobody yawn. So I really want to think about having that much space, just like I did on my ah, and really holding on the vowel and then closing on the consonant. So the difference is if I go, ever just the same, you hear that change in my tone as soon as I start closing my mouth. Well, I closed my mouth for a long time. I held the note out, but I was like, and it goes, same. You hear all those pitch changes or tone quality changes as soon as I start doing that. So I really need to keep, how do I keep open? Same. And then close. So I think about I sing on the vowel and then I close on the consonant. Super quick. So I really want to think about keeping that space all the way through, and then especially when I'm holding, I'm going to hold that out and then close really quick on the vowel. So I'm going to get this lovely little, and again, I would start lower. So if the note itself freaks you out, that, oh my gosh, that's too high, start lower so that you get the feeling you can concentrate on the things that you need to be concentrating on, and just gradually think about it's going to be a little bit more air, a little bit more space. So walk yourself up there now with the words. Ever just the same. And then come up. Ever just the same. Ever just the same. Ever just the same. But really thinking about keeping that nice and open. The next little part is the fact that then we have to go from ever just the same to ever a surprise. And all of a sudden, that high note is a surprise. Because we went way down to ever just, ever a, back into our chest voice, back into this nice little lovely place we go. And then we have to go, da-da. So, start with that jump. This, again, is a great place where you can practice that little that you give when we do the breath control exercise. If you think about, I'm going to hiss and make it a little louder, and you feel that little bit of a jump. So when we were doing straight up, no, I want that all to be one thing. This is going to be one little thing with a little bit of a in it, right? So I want to go, oh, feel how much air that you need to add to do that. The jump, we'll just do the jump. The jump is just a 6. So if I start lower, I get just na, and just getting that. So just kind of walk yourself up there until you get to where you need to be, which is about here. Try not to jerk your whole body, but as you get used to it, you'll feel, okay, I do need to make this a little bit extra. So then do the whole thing. And find that. Same thing happens with the words. I want ever a surprise. One of the things I always like to say is find the word that naturally opens and then match everything to it, right? So you have this at the beginning. Make sure that your mouth drops and everything is nice and open. Ever a surprise. And everything comes back to that. Try not to say surprise, because as soon as we say an R, it's a sound and it closes in the back. So we get this surprise. Ever a surprise. That's not pretty. Okay? So I want a little bit of a surprise. You can make it a pretty U if you want to. Surprise, but no R. Very British. No R. Okay? So I want this pretty little ever a surprise. Really think again about opening that. Surprise is probably one of the hardest words to say. And of course, it's in the little highest part, so it's really annoying. But think big here and then really giving it that breath. So, hope that helps and happy singing.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, you can let me know in the comments or ask any questions that you have. Subscribe to my channel and get videos delivered direct to your email. You can also support me on Patreon. Happy singing!